Welcome students, once again myself Dr. Harish Chandra Upadhyay, Assistant Professor in Rajkiya Engineering College Sonbhadra, and right now we are dealing with the unit spectroscopy of chemistry subject, which is part of BTech first year. We have discussed basics of spectroscopy and after that UV visible spectroscopy. These two topics have been discussed. Now, we are going to discuss another topic in this spectroscopy, that is infrared spectroscopy. This is very much important spectroscopic technique and it is used to identify the functional group on organic compounds. So, we will discuss here introduction, the functional groups and fingerprint region in IR, theory of IR spectroscopy, factors affecting vibrational frequency and applications of IR spectroscopy. Means we are going to finish this entire IR spectroscopy in this lecture. Now, infrared or vibrational spectroscopy, as we are always saying that what is spectroscopy? This is the interaction of electromagnetic radiation with matter, and different region of electromagnetic radiation we have selected for different spectroscopic technique. Every spectroscopic technique has its unique utilization or use by which we can determine the properties of molecule. So, in this spectroscopy, infrared spectroscopy, we interact infrared radiation with matter, and an IR spectrum is just a plot of percentage transmittance on y axis versus wave number or frequency on x axis. Generally we use wave number. We have already introduced that wavelength, what is wavelength, lambda, and wave number, that is 1 by lambda. By tradition IR spectroscopy wave number is used and that wave number will be in centimeter inverse. The IR range, if we discuss lambda, this is 0.8 to 500 micrometer, which may be subdivided in near IR, middle IR and far IR. Near IR belongs to 12,500 to 4,000 centimeter inverse, middle IR 4,000 to 400 centimeter inverse, and far IR belongs to 400 to 200 centimeter inverse. The energies of this region are enough to change the vibrational level of the molecule. So, this is also called as vibrational spectroscopy. This vibrational region, vibrational spectroscopy, we use IR, and that IR especially 4000 centimeter to 400 centimeter is frequently being used. This region may be divided in two subgroups, very important on examination point of view, that is functional group region and fingerprint region. The region, approximate region, this 4000 to 1500 centimeter inverse, this is called as functional group region, because absorption in this particular region gives information about functional groups, means most of the functional group absorbed in this region. While in fingerprint region this is 1500 centimeter inverse to 400 centimeter inverse, that region gives some skeleton about information about skeleton of the molecule. By skeleton means, suppose we have selected a molecule C single bond C, C single bond C, C single bond C something. So, these stretching and bending frequencies will fall in this region. Again, suppose it has COOH or it has C double bond O. So, these functional groups will show absorption in this functional group region. So, we have to remember all these things. Then the theory of IR spectroscopy, what is the funda behind this? The molecular vibration, we have to understand this by step. So, now first we are considering molecular vibrations. The atoms in a molecule do not remain at a fixed position with respect to each other. It means whatever is the bond, we consider bond length. Suppose I am not writing even atoms also. Atom means a sphere, atom means a sphere. So, this is not fixed actually at this axis, they are vibrating, they are vibrating back and forth about an average value of interatomic distance. So, whatever till now we are dealing with a bond length, that is average interatomic distance. These are actually vibrating back and forth. This vibrational state is quantized. Quantization is the heart of a spectroscopy, I have discussed it. So, means this vibrational level, after that a certain next vibrational level, after that a certain next vibrational level, after that a certain next vibrational level, and those vibrational energy levels are quantized. So, hope you have got this concept, that molecule, in a molecule the atoms are vibrating back and forth, first thing, they are in continuous vibrational motion or vibrational state, the second thing. Then after we can say that their vibrational state is quantized, means they are in particular level vibration, then next level vibration, then next level vibration, then next level vibration, and that energy is fixed or quantized. Then when the radiant energy matches with the energy of a specific molecular vibration, absorption will occur and molecule will go to higher vibrational state. How? Suppose this vibrational level is, and another vibrational level next, another next, another next. So, if energy equal to delta E has been provided by that electromagnetic radiation, this will vibrate, this will go from V, suppose V1 to V2 or V2 to V3 and so on. So, how we can classify these molecular vibrations? These molecular vibrations may further be classified as stretching vibration or bending vibration. Let us assume that a bond is just a spring. This bond is just a spring attached with these two balls. These two balls are atoms, and that is a spring. So, the spring is vibrating. Vibration may be either stretching or bending, means we can stretch the spring, you may assume we may stretch the spring or we may bend the spring, means either pushing up or down or we may bend. So, basically these vibrations are of two types, that is stretching or bending. Now, stretching further can be divided into, that is symmetrical stretching and asymmetrical stretching. We can better understand when we are considering a triatomic molecule, means at a center from one molecule two other molecules have been arranged. So, both of them either stretching upward or both of them either stretching downward, pushing downward. These are called as symmetrical stretching, means if we are pushing up then both the bonds, if we are pulling down then both the bonds, such type of stretching will be called as symmetrical stretching. And if one of the bond has been moved up, stretched up, and other has been stretched down, that will be called as asymmetrical stretching. So, stretching will be of two types, symmetrical stretching and asymmetrical stretching. Now, bending, these bending may be of many types, means if we are considering this spring like this, and if we are bending, so bending may be either in plane bending, means both of the two have been pushed this way, in plane bending means the plane is same, and we are pushing either both of them here or both of them here, or means plane is same, both of them has been moved keeping the plane maintained, both of them have been moved keeping the plane maintained. This may be rocking or scissoring. Rocking means we are pushing those two bonds keeping the plane maintained in same way, same direction, either this and scissoring means we are bringing them together like this, same way plane maintained, this is rocking and we are moving towards each other, this is scissoring. So, the rocking and scissoring are in plane bending. Now, out plane bending, wagging or twisting means we are changing the plane. Now, the plane has been changed, we have made this plus or minus. Wagging means these two bonds, this was the plane, those have been pushed down or pushed backside, upward or downward. By tradition we have represented upward as plus, this was the bond. So, plane has been changed upward or both of them go downward. So, this is called as wagging. What is twisting? Twisting means one has been placed upward while other downward, one upward while other downward, that is called as twisting. So, these are the types of molecular vibrations. Hope you have got the stretching, that may be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Bending means the bond or spring, you have assumed it to be spring that has been bended. Bending may be in plane or out plane. Okay. Let us consider the part B of theory, that is vibrational frequency. Remember, we have discussed that this we have assumed in this that the bond is just like a spring, as I have mentioned here. So, spring and these are the two balls, balls means the atoms. Suppose we have made HCl. So, if we have made HCl, so this is H, this may be Cl or any other atom, and this bond is actually a spring. So, if we have assumed this as a spring, then the classical vibrational frequency can be derived using Hooke's law. You have studied in physics that vibrational frequency of the spring can be derived, and its formula is nu is equal to 1 by 2 pi k by mu. What is mu? This is reduced mass, that is m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2, when we will apply if the bond is masses are different. If the masses are different, then we will use mu, that is reduced mass, that is equal to 1 upon 2 pi k m1 plus m2 upon m1 m2. So, we have defined this, you know about k, that k is force constant, and this k is a measure of bond strength. This k is measure of bond strength. For a single bond, k is 5 into 10 raised power 5 dynes per centimeter. Remember, again we are dealing with chemistry. So, we are using units whatever is usable in chemistry. So, we have used in CGS, that is dynes per centimeter, and it has been observed that the value of k for double bond will become double, for triple bond will become triple, for single bond its value is in range of 5 into 10 raised power 5. So, here it may be 2 5 into 10 raised power 5, 5 into 10 raised power 5, it will be 3 times of k, 2 times and 3 times it has been observed. Again we are not using frequency as such, but we are using wave number. So, if we use wave number, then it is necessary to convert that frequency into wave number. How we can derive this? We can see here that nu is equal to c by lambda. We can write this is c and 1 by lambda. You can say nu is equal to C and 1 by lambda is nu bar. So, ultimately nu bar may be nu by C, means whatever the formula for nu has came, if we divide it by C, then we will get wave number. So, in terms of wave number, the formula is here, nu bar, that is nu by C, this is equal to 1 by 2 pi C k root k by mu, and mu is reduced mass as I have discussed earlier. By this we can determine the vibrational frequency theoretically, and it has been observed that whatever is the theoretical value is in agreement with the experimental value. So, vibrational frequencies can be determined theoretically. The next is selection rule. The molecular vibrations which lead, selection rules means which type of stretching or bending or absorption will take place, and which will be IR active, which will not be IR active. Molecular vibrations which lead to change in dipole moment of the molecule will give absorption band in IR, that is IR active. This is the prime condition, otherwise they will be IR inactive. So, first point I think you have got that which type of molecules will show absorption in IR region or which type of molecules will be IR active. The answer is the molecular vibrations which lead to change in dipole moment of molecule will give IR band in absorption in IR region, otherwise they will be IR inactive. Now, which type of molecular vibrations will lead to change in dipole moment? Suppose the molecule is polar, molecule is polar means itself has dipole moment, then it will show absorption band in IR region. That is why in second point we have mentioned that homonuclear diatomic molecules like O2, H2, N2 etc., they have no any dipole moment. So, IR inactive, this will be IR inactive, and heteronuclear diatomic molecules like HX means HF, HCl, HBr, CO etc., have permanent dipole moment and IR active. So, what is our final impression? It is that if the molecule is polar, it will be IR active. If the molecule is having dipole moment, it will be IR active, otherwise it will be IR inactive. So, note this. One interesting example we can select like CO2. If we consider CO2, then C double bond O double bond O. By chemical bonding, concepts of chemical bonding, we know that this molecule is non-polar at all. So, it will be IR inactive as I stated earlier. Suppose here is symmetrical stretching. Symmetrical stretching means both the bonds have been pulled out or both the bonds have been pulled inside, then what? Then this symmetrical stretching will not change dipole moment. It means this symmetrical stretching will not change dipole moment. So, it will be IR inactive. But if we make unsymmetrical stretching means C double bond O, one of the bonds have been pulled outside, another has been pulled inside. So, this mu will not consider this mu, both the dipole moment, bond dipole moments will not be cancelled. So, it will lead to change in dipole moment. That is why unsymmetrical stretching in CO2 will be IR active and symmetrical stretching in CO2 will be IR inactive. A linear molecule having n atoms will have 3n minus 5 fundamental vibrational modes, while non-linear molecules will have 3n minus 6 fundamental vibrational modes. So, we have to note this, and overall selection rule for fundamental vibration, that delta V plus minus 1 means first energy level to second succeeding energy level change, that will be, that is the selection rule, that is allowed condition, and delta J 0 or plus minus 1, J is rotational quantum number. Now, factors affecting vibrational frequency. Which type of factors will affect the vibrational frequency? There are many factors like state of matter, physical conditions means hydrogen bonding and so on, and electronic situations. Let us take first physical state. The absorption frequency will depend on physical state. Why? Frequency will be highest for gas, then liquid and then solid. Frequency will be highest for gas, then liquid, then solid. This is obvious. Suppose the molecule is gas, that will be freely vibrating, and if it is solid, then obviously the vibration has been suppressed. So, physical state will largely affect absorption frequency. The next factor is coupled vibration and Fermi resonance. The vibrational coupling may take place between two bonds through a common atom vibrating with similar frequency. Coupling between two fundamental bands is called as coupled vibration, while coupling between fundamental vibration and overtone is called as Fermi resonance. Fermi resonance. So, we have to first understand those terms, that fundamental vibration as well as overtone. What are those? These are the vibrational levels 1, 2, 3, V0, V1, V2, V3 and so on. Successively 1 like this, suppose we have moved V1 to V2 or V0 V1, this one V2, this one. So, this is fundamental vibration, means ground state to first excited state. Now, if any vibrational change is taking place from this to this to this, means keeping this one next level, it is directly going to this. So, that will be called as overtone. So, fundamental vibration delta V plus minus 1, overtone delta V plus not plus minus 1 means next. And remember that it is not always the matter that we have observed all the possible vibrational modes. We have not we will not observe all the vibrational modes, because many times there may be merging of the bands. Possible is that two bands which are vibrating through common atom, they may be having similar frequency, and if they may be having similar frequency, then there will be coupling, and means they will be merged together. So, actual number of vibrations, fundamental vibrations will always be less, observed less than predicted. Another factor is hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding give rise to downward frequency shift. How? And also we can understand the situation of intermolecular and intramolecular hydrogen bonding like this. This molecule, this is having stretching frequency 740 to 1740 to 1780 centimeter inverse, while intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the same molecule, this is having stretching in 1710 centimeter inverse. So, this hydrogen bond gives rise to downward frequency shift, and inter and intramolecular hydrogen bonding can easily be distinguished. Next is the electronic or displacement effect. The electronic effects, these affect a large to vibrational frequency. How they will affect? Because they directly push or pull the bond means the electrons, it means they are increasing or decreasing the bond length, and its measure is what? K. So, suppose there is plus I group. So, if we have introduced plus I group, this is 1750 centimeter, 1 plus I group, this is making the bond electron density increasing, fundamental vibration will be 1745, 2 methyl groups 1750, again one withdrawing group. So, this will be causing increase, electron density is decreasing, this bond length frequency will be 1769 and so on. So, plus I and minus I groups will affect largely. Next is the electronic displacement, means conjugation, we can consider conjugation. The conjugation of pi bond with pi bond or lone pair introduces single bond character. We know about the resonance. So, by that resonance phenomena we can understand that single bond character will be in that, hence absorption frequency will decrease. The mesomeric effect on CO stretching frequency can be seen here like this. Now, this is always having double bond character, but this C double bond O may be having single bond character like this, and it means its vibrational frequency will become shorter, कम हो जाएगी. तो ये बात आपको ध्यान रखना है that conjugation will affect as well as introduction of plus I and minus I groups also will affect. Next is the detection of functional groups in compounds. So, major use of infrared spectroscopy is to determine functional groups. This is relevant to both organic as well as inorganic chemistry. Functional groups, suppose we can say alkyl, this is not functional group, but we are showing just stretching and bending frequencies which are the most probable: alkyl group, alkenyl group, alkynyl group, aromatics, basic stretching, CH stretching, C double bond C stretching, C triple bond C stretching. The absorption values are given here, you may pause and you may note for further reading. Again alcohol or phenol, these will be having heteroatom. So, OH stretching or NH stretching, the values you have to learn, you should be having an idea that with stretching frequency and bending frequency for particular functional group is going in this region. So, this IR spectroscopy will be useful in identification of functional groups. For the detection of nature of hydrogen bonding, as I have stated earlier that inter and intermolecular hydrogen bonding can be identified easily, because intermolecular hydrogen bonding is concentration dependent, means when the concentration has been increased, this strength of hydrogen bonding will decrease, but if intramolecular hydrogen bonding, then there will be no any effect. Next is comparison of two compounds. Even the compound is having same functional group, then also we can identify two compounds in such a way that their skeleton will be different, their C bond, whatever is in the compound, C bond, C double bond, C bond, CH, their stretching and bending vibrational patterns will be different. That is why the reason, another reason that is called as fingerprint region, means that gives idea about structure, basic skeleton of the molecule. So, basic skeleton will be different if we can firstly identify the functional group. If the two compounds having same functional group, then also we can identify, because their fingerprint region patterns will be different. As in other spectroscopic techniques, IR is very powerful tool to detect impurities. A pure IR sample will be having fairly sharp and well resolvable absorption peak. By this we can we can detect that there are impurities or not in a sample, although this is a very common pattern, this is a very general trend you can say that in various types of spectroscopic techniques, those are very helpful in detecting impurities, because each and every molecule is having definite pattern of peaks, absorption peaks, which has been just an example has been given here, that in case of this is the IR spectrum of butyraldehyde. Butyraldehyde means CH3, CH2, CH2 and CHO. You can say that which type of peaks are present. You can these IR actual IR by tradition has been shown in form of dip. You may remember those things, absorption spectra and emission spectra. Many times spectra is absorption, but by tradition those peaks have been maintained to normal value like this, but by tradition, by same tradition, in case of IR the spectrum is represented as dip, the spectrum is represented as dip. So, you can identify a particular, you can see the particular spectrum of compound this butyraldehyde, where this is the peak for CH stretching, that is 2976 centimeter inverse, CH stretching of aldehyde 2827. You can say another, this is CO, C double bond O stretching 1731, and other peaks you can identify. Just what you have to do in this, that learn some of the absorption patterns, that what will be peak value of absorption if it is alcohol or phenol or carboxylic acid or amine, that is why that may come in your examination. Another important thing is that this CO stretching, that is largely affected by the presence of groups, and hope you have got this. Thank you.